This is breaking news.
Nuclear steals the show, but it's still all about the economy, stupid. While Peter Dutton's nuclear policy announced on Wednesday understandably stole all the political attention this week, it was what happened before then that really mattered. The head of the Reserve Bank of Australia, Michelle Bullock, issued a takedown of Treasurer Jim Chalmers and the way he has sought to characterize the budget. Bullock did what RBA governors rarely do. She weighed in on what she clearly regards as inappropriate and unhelpful fiscal settings by Chalmers and his state colleagues. For a public servant, she didn't mince her words either. Bullock said the pathway back to low inflation will be a slow grind, and the way state and federal budgets are spending money wasn't helpful. The pathway to fix the economic mess we are in without causing a recession was getting narrower, she said, adding we need a lot to go our way to get inflation back to where it needs to be. Unhelpfully, recent budget outcomes may also have an impact on demand, she said. Translation: the way Australian governments keep stoking the economy with their spending is unhelpful. The economic vandalism she warns of is something made worse by state government spending. So Chalmers wasn't being singled out. In fact, I would suggest the out-of-control spending by some state administrations makes Chalmers look like a fiscal conservative by way of comparison. Bullock was reserving most of her criticisms for state treasurers, not Chalmers. Not that you would know that by the speedy response he fired back when called out as part of a collective failure. Chalmers called a late media conference, ostensibly to answer the criticisms being made. "I don't tell the governor how to do her job, and the governor doesn't tell me how to do my job," Chalmers spat back. "Sorry, mate, but that is exactly what she did, but only because she thinks Chalmers isn't getting the message." As an aside, Chalmers couldn't even get through his media conference without contradicting his own words about not telling the RBA what to do. Shortly after uttering them, he declared that RBA rate rises are already hammering the economy. He may not have explicitly told them what to do, but he made clear that the economic challenges are of their making. Buck passing 101 right there by one of our senior political leaders. This is far from the first time the RBA has issued a warning about the way governments are spending. It's just a little more pointed than usual. Rather than getting the message, Chalmers chose to fight, disagreeing with the scathing assessment of where things are at and the advice given on what to do about it. At one level, I can understand why. His budget was poorly received by most economists, certainly by the ones without a partisan or left-wing ideological agenda. Stinging as those criticisms have been, when the RBA governor joins it risks far greater political damage. The optics of the RBA and Treasury's gears grinding in different directions is far from good, not to mention dangerous for the stability of the economy. Chalmers' message that he's doing a good and appropriate job of bringing inflation back under control with his budget is now in tatters. So is his effectiveness on reducing cost of living pressures. He must have been so happy when Dutton rose to his feet to announce a big target nuclear energy policy. The distraction was political manna from heaven for the underperforming treasurer. To not get eaten by the lion, all you have to do is run faster than the other guy. Chalmers was coming last, but after the nuclear announcement he may have overtaken Dutton. So can anything put the state of the economy and inflationary problems back front and center? Or has Dutton's new policy stolen all the attention between now and the election? Australians still care more about their daily financial struggles than whatever half-baked policy the opposition has cooked up on going nuclear. But scare campaigns can be effective, and Labor is only just getting started. Throw in how difficult winning is for first-term oppositions, not to mention when selling a big target policy agenda. And it is hard to see how anything can distract from Dutton's self-inflicted policy wound. The only thing that might do that is a worsening set of circumstances for Australians suffering under cost of living pressures. An interest rate rise, for example, could do it. Or the onset of a technical recession, although we are running out of time for that ahead of when the election is due. So will the next election be later this year or early next? The government will be weighing up which time best serves them. Do they want to do Dutton slowly by dragging it out until next year, giving them plenty of time to unpick his nuclear agenda?